Ladies and gentlemen, now I've just finished a Realm of Legends speed run with Longshot because I like to test every new kind of overpowered damage champion to see how quickly they can clear the entirety of Realm of Legends. And Longshot, especially in certain matchups like the Black Bolt one, is just ridiculous, man. This champion is so silly. Like, he's really good in most matchups, but matchups where there are a lot of buffs to take advantage of, the damage output is just insanity. But for today's run, I've chucked on the Suicide Masteries and also Mystic Dispersion, so I had to make a kind of bespoke build just to make this run work and kind of beef Longshot up even more. But I was very curious to see how far we could push a 6-star rank to Longshot and what this man is capable of. And the burst is just so crazy on the special 2s, man, if you line it up with Bad Karma. So starting off against Winter Soldier, the goal of every single fight is to get the special 2 Incinerate up, and that's going to convert anytime we apply Bad Karma into an instant Incinerate, which is going to deal lots and lots of damage. So every heavy attack while we have the Incinerate active, you can see is inflicting that passive Incinerate, and that is kind of the primary source of Longshot's damage there. And because of this, he can get the fights down in very few hits. Like, Longshot isn't a champion that has a massive hit counter to deal lots of damage, which is very good in certain scenarios, and I think is really going to shine if we do take this champion into Abyss of Legends. Because from what I can see so far, if you haven't done Abyss of Legends and you get Longshot, I think he's going to fill that role of Mystic Nullifier for a lot of people. And, you know, Doctor Doom is by far the best option at the moment, but I think Longshot's going to be really great for all sorts of matchups like Venom the Duck in particular, where he's generating like 10 buffs every time he throws a special. You're just going to be able to convert that into an insane amount of Incinerate damage. So yeah, I'm very curious to see that matchup because I think Longshot's going to be really good there. We can see Winter Soldier goes down in about 64 hits there, just under 2 minutes on the kill time, and that is a matchup where there's nothing really special going on. We didn't have class advantage, so that's probably the most neutral matchup you're going to get with Longshot, but still a fantastic performance in terms of the damage output there. Now I also have the Nick Fury synergy, I've got the Rogue synergy, I've got Deadpool and also Quake in the team, so Quake's for the evade charges, just as a little bit of a safety net, because I think I'm an alright Longshot player, but I'm certainly not the best, and you do need to throw quite a lot of heavy attacks, because the majority of his damage comes from the Bad Karma, and again, those are generated if you don't have any buffs to nullify off the opponent by using heavy attacks. So the finesse of playing Longshot comes from finding every single opportunity you can to throw heavy attacks, and you're going to see a lot of scenarios in this video where after certain special attacks, opponents' heavy attacks, we try to counter with heavy attacks. So, you know, this was also a little bit of a learning experience for me, and I think in hindsight, as you're going to see on some fights, we do make a fair few mistakes later in this run. But, you know, I'm only human, man. I'm going to make a few mistakes here and there, but we're off to a fantastic start against Captain Marvel Classic. Like, it's a minute in, and she's already on 36%. The class advantage is really helping out here. You can see those Incinerates every time we throw a heavy attack. They're like ticking twice a second for almost 6,000 damage there. And at this point, we just need one more special to finish the fight and not take recall damage. So we just go in with a medium attack there, straight into a special 2, Assassin's Range, plenty of additional damage there, and Captain Marvel Classic goes down in 49 hits. So a very quick, very efficient kill there. Now this next matchup, Juggernaut, could go a little bit faster if we did have Longshot's Awakened ability, because Longshot's Awakened ability gives him a chance to immediately nullify any buffs that the opponent generates and convert them into Bad Karma. So this basically allows him to immediately get rid of Unstoppable against Juggernaut, to the best of my knowledge, if you are lucky enough to get, you know, that immediate nullify. And I think his Awakened ability goes up to a 60% chance, so we could have played a little bit more aggressively there, but still a fantastic start to this fight. We go with the special 2, we get the Incinerate up, and the Incinerate also has the secondary effect of the Fate Seal. So you see here, he throws a special 1, Unstoppable doesn't trigger because he's still Fate Sealed, so we can just heavy attack, start building up our good karma and transferring some of that good karma to Bad Karma. Then we go in with a heavy attack, opportunity to do another heavy, we got a special 2, so I throw that mid heavy as well to detonate all the Bad Karma, but 27 hits so far, and this man is getting smacked. So yeah, this is a very satisfying matchup, and because we're Fate Sealing some of the Unstoppable, it's giving us more power gain, and also more Incinerate damage as well. So a really nice matchup from Longshot. Almost nuked down in 40 hits there. We just need one more good interval, but he's got no buffs, we've got no Bad karma on him. So I probably should have done like 2 heavies, and then on the second heavy kind of cancelled that mid and went special 2. So a little bit of a mistake there in terms of efficiency, but as soon as all our good karma ended, it was transferred into bad karma and finished off Juggernaut there. So yeah, overall it worked out in the end, man. It worked out in the end. But next up we have Rhino. So in the Rhino matchup we do have the class disadvantage, but there are a lot of opportunities, and I kind of messed up a couple of times here where you can heavy counter Rhino, particularly after his heavy attack. He has a little bit of a delay, and also after he throws his special 2, if you have the timing and distance right, you can just get a heavy attack after that. And if you're good at estimating the distance as well, it gives you plenty of time to charge up your heavy attack, very much like Heimdall. It's a bit of a slow special 2 there. But anyway, we go in with the very first special 2, nullify all of the bad karma, convert into incinerate damage, instantly takes almost 20% health off of Rhino here. We go in for a heavy counter there. I was a little bit too early, and I didn't have the distance right, so I messed up on that one a little bit, man. A little bit unfortunate there. I think here we heavy counter his heavy, so we're backing this man into the corner. Go for another heavy attack, just charge that up to get some more good karma there. We parried that special 1. I'm not too sure why we parried it, man. It would have been a little bit better to dodge, because dodging attacks, you also have a chance to get good karma as well. So that's very useful, you know, for topping up your karma. So dodge when you can, but we dex that one. We get a stack of good karma there. We go in for a heavy attack. We get a couple of incinerates off there. We dex another special 1, get some good karma. So here I'm just trying to get a parry so I can throw a heavy attack so I can start transferring some bad karma. But here I just decided to go for the special 2 anyway, man, just to get that incinerate on, and just so that we can constantly keep on converting our good karma to bad karma and getting that incinerate damage. So you'll notice when playing Longshot, you know, you can just use the special 2 whenever you want. I don't think there's really any harm to it, but if you do want that, you know, big chunk of immediate burst damage, you really do want to line up the 5 stacks of bad karma before you do it. But at least in my gameplay so far and experience playing this champion, and again, I'm very new to playing Longshot, man, I don't see any reason to really not throw the special 2 as soon as you have it most of the time, unless the opponent has a lot of bad karma and you want to get closer to the special 3 so you can take advantage of that power gain. Because for every stack of bad karma on the opponent, you actually siphon 12% of the power that they gain. So if you got 5 stacks, that's 60% more power gain. So it just, you know, makes getting power a lot easier, especially if you're trying to, you know, keep up the special 2 for Fate Seal reasons. Now next up we got the Storm matchup, and I didn't charge the heavy attack there. A little bit of a fluke on the second one, but now we're back into a good rotation here. Storm has 5 of the bad karma, and we managed to heavy counter her heavy as well, so a pretty nice one there. Dodge on Storm special 1, nice and easy to do, straight into a combo, smack down that special 2, we get the incinerate off, and now we just nuke into Storm and spam those heavy attacks as much as we possibly can. You can see as well, we're about 5 fights in and we're still above 50% health points using the Suicide Masteries. Granted, we do have that gold pool synergy for a little bit of regeneration fight to fight as well. But Longshot, he's certainly not the best champion to use with Suicide Masteries, but he can work if you do like using them. Just because he has so much damage output that it doesn't really matter too much for a lot of scenarios. Again, Realm of Legends is very inflated in terms of hit points in comparison to a lot of the other content in the game, aside from stuff like Abyss of Legends and Labyrinth of Legends. But Longshot, you know, he does so much damage, he doesn't really need the suicides, but he can work with them, which is always just something interesting to keep in mind. But also, with that said, there are a lot of champions that work much better with Suicide Masteries, especially in the Mystic class, like Clairvoyant is just ridiculous with the Suicide Masteries, especially with the way that she regenerates as well. Now we've just passed the 9-minute mark, and we are very, very close to getting Storm down here. We just need a few more heavy attacks in order to get those incinerates up. But again, Storm just isn't really that much of a special matchup for Longshot. She has no buffs that she generates, so there's nothing really in this matchup that we can take massive advantage of. But yeah, 63 hits again on the hit counter, man. Longshot just looks absolutely amazing. But I think time-wise as well, in comparison to some other champions that we have speedrun through Realm of Legends, Longshot is just a little bit slower, just due to having to charge his heavy heavy attacks up, and also his animations, they're not the quickest animations in the world speed-wise. So these things kind of hinder the champion, like time-wise, comparatively speaking, a little bit. And I think we actually managed to get a very slightly faster run in Realm of Legends with Dr. Doom in comparison to Longshot, which you wouldn't think, granted, you know, how many special 3s you got to watch with Dr. Doom. And I don't think we had the suicide masteries on for that video as well. However, with the Dr. Doom Realm of Legends speedrun, we did have the rest of the team killed off and everything we could to kind of give Dr. Doom the ideal scenario. So, you know, I think both champions do have their pros and cons, but as I said on yesterday's video, I'm still fairly convinced, especially with the utility that Dr. Doom brings to the table, mainly that crazy power control, man, and the passive stuns and all of that fun stuff, that I think Dr. Doom is still the best Mystic champion in the game. But I think the Longshot is definitely going to be one of those champions that is valued highly by a lot of top tier players, and I think he's going to shred so many different matchups that come out in the future. So I'm very excited to see some of the uses for Longshot, and I also want to do videos exploring him in stuff like all of the variant content, maybe Labyrinth of Legends, maybe Abyss of Legends as well. However, saying that, I'm not really too sure how he's going to do in Labyrinth of Legends, because again, he is very reliant on the heavy attacks ideally, or a lot of buffs, and if you can't do that because of the Limber node, then I think that's really going to have a bit of an impact when it comes to his damage output. However, in the matchups where there are still like loads of buffs, like Old Man Logan for example, I think he's just going to absolutely tear through fights like that. So yeah, maybe I might take him into Labyrinth of Legends for a fight or two, but overall, I'm not really too sure he would be the best champion there. Now, this Black Panther matchup, I really enjoyed the start of this fight as well, and you can just heavy counter everything on Black Panther, man, so it's just a really enjoyable time. So here we're nuking in just straight away because we got the 5 bad karma, we got the 5 good karma, we got the karma we need, so we don't need to bother with those heavy attacks just yet. Then we go straight in for a heavy attack, get that incinerate damage, the special 2, you can heavy counter after. We managed to charge up long enough to get Pure of Heart, and that heavy counter on the special 2 allowed us to back him into the corner and just spam a couple more heavies as well for even more damage there. So it's just a really nice play, man. Really got Black Panther on the ropes, who charge up a heavy here, heavy counter straight into a special 2. So yeah, this fight is just going so smooth against Black Panther. But any matchup or champion that does have kind of intervals where you can heavy counter, you're going to see a really nice increase in Longshot's damage output, because every single heavy attack is, I think, like looking at the numbers, it's about like 15,000 additional damage per heavy attack, factoring in like the damage from the heavy itself and also the incinerates on top of it. So yeah, basically the thing that makes Longshot overpowered are heavy attacks, buffs, and special 2s. He's a very straightforward champion, even though he might seem like a little bit weird, a little bit complicated. Once you get your hands on this champion, get used to him, like he's very straightforward. But that was a beautiful takedown of Black Panther there, 52 hits, absolutely spectacular. So now we're on to the final 4 bosses of Realm of Legends. We got Scarlet Witch, Wolverine, and also Black Bolt and Hulk. Now, Scarlet Witch, I was a little bit worried for, just because I am running this Suicide Mastery, so if I got really bad RNG with the poison, I might have been poisoned to death and absolutely ruined. However, the good news in this fight as well is because Longshot, again, he doesn't really have like that many hits in a fight in comparison to other champions. We actually have a much lower chance to get poisoned just because we're not hitting in anywhere near as much as we would be with other certain characters. So yeah, it actually goes really nicely here, and we managed to get a fairly sizable amount of healing just from like the weakness debuffs, keeping us topped up here as well, which is very nice. And I did use a love juice just before this encounter started, just to get Longshot topped up a little bit, just for the worst case scenario. I should have gone in and chained the heavy there. I think ideally kind of missed a bit of an opportunity there, so a little bit of a misplay, man, but still it's going fairly decently so far. Should have probably tried to evade that one, but we go in with a few hits. Nice little special 2 there, gets her down to 52%. We managed to get a lucky Fury as well from hitting into Scarlet Witch for the last couple of combos, so that gave us a nice boost to the damage, and she's already down to 40%. As you can see, the Incinerate's just expiring, so it's now a case of we need to build up the karma, get to a special 2, and go through one more cycle to get this last down. So we dodged the special 1 there, going for a double medium. Double medium is a combo that I love to use to try and bait opponents into into attacking into me so I can parry and then throw a heavy attack. And I think that seems like a really efficient strategy to use for a lot of scenarios when you like back out and dash in when it comes to Longshot. And I found it tremendously useful for just, you know, staying aggressive today. But a nice little special one to finish off that encounter, and Scarlet Witch goes down. We did take one little hit from the special one, and that hit might haunt me on the final fight, as you're going to see very shortly. But now we got the Wolverine matchup, and this one I think was a little bit weird. So we go with the heavy attacks, and it's just a case of like we're not really going to be able to make a dent in Wolverine until we get that first special 2. So it's just a case of like lining that up perfectly, and I was a bit nervous about this fight just because Wolverine, you know, stuff can go a little bit crazy with the regeneration sometimes. I think here we go in for another combo and then straight into a special 2, and we instantly get up to 1.5 bars worth of power. So we go in for a heavy attack here. I think we get a special 2 there, so we go in for another heavy attack. We get the incinerates, and here we go in for another heavy attack. I chained on to special 2, and this is where I made a bit of a mistake because I didn't need to use that special 2 for another like combo or 2, and this kind of left me vulnerable and gave me a time where the incinerate wasn't active on Wolverine, so thus granted him a chance to heal and get those regeneration buffs back. You can see I've got to get a bar of power, and I have no way to get rid of that regeneration. If Longshot was awakened, we'd have the ability to auto nullify, but as you can see, man, he just gets a ton of regeneration there. He gets like 40% hit points. Luckily, a special 2 just pretty much brings him like back down, but we could have shaved, I think, about, you know, 15-20 seconds off this run if I had played a bit more efficiently when it came to Wolverine. So yeah, a bit of a rookie mistake there, man, but we go in for another heavy attack, and then just one single hit there, special 2, nullify the regeneration, nullify the bad karma, then just a couple more hits, and this man is down. So overall, still a nice kill against Wolverine, still a very fast kill in comparison to a lot of other champions, but that little mistake definitely cost me about 15-20 seconds there, so it was a little bit annoying, man. And at this point, I'm like, I think I can finish Realm of Legends, because I've only used one love juice potion at the moment. I'm like, I think I can finish without using any more health potions, because we've got Black Bolt, we got Hulk, both of these champions have buffs, so I'm feeling fairly confident about the finish at this point. So we go for another heavy attack. I think I tried to go for a parry here. I just ate loads of blocked hits, which certainly was not the ideal scenario. He uses a special 1 and refreshes his own bad karma. So here we go for another combo, get close to the special 3, fire off that special 2. Look at that incinerate damage, man. That was absolutely mad. We melted off a good 35% in a single instant there. All our good karma also expired and turned into bad karma, so nuked off another 30%. So he's already down to like 21% in 27 hits, man. This Black Bolt matchup was just absolutely nuts. So yeah, I love this one, man. This is a really, really awesome matchup, and just shows how powerful Longshot's damage output is in scenarios where you just have buffs to take advantage of and punish, because he's just nuts. Another little special 2, and that special 2 honestly was a lot of overkill, man. He had 4 bad karma there, which was probably about 50,000 damage overkill. So yeah, great matchup against Black Bolt. 42 hits there, just shows the sheer brute force power of Longshot. Now this Hulk final matchup is where I choked a little bit. There are lots of little mistakes in terms of how I should have maybe played a little bit better at certain scenarios and been a bit more aggressive on the heavies, man. But I was feeling good going into this fight, especially after that Black Bolt fight, man, because it just went so incredibly well. And also Hulk, as you're going to see when we beat into him, he generates Fury. So occasionally, while he has the incinerate, he's just going to randomly incinerate himself, which is a really, really good time as well. So going in for another combo here. I'm trying to get into the heavy attacks at the moment, just so we can apply that bad karma and also charge up our good karma as well. Gotten down 66%, so it's off to a fairly strong start here. I don't know why I backed up instead of using a heavy, man. Must have been like a little bit of a misplay there, so a very, very silly mistake. So we're going for a heavy here, straight into a special 2. We nullify, I think there's 1 bad karma there, and we block the special 1s, and I keep on blocking the first hit of the special 1 just for a little bit of safety, because sometimes I do get clipped by it, but that is going to be my downfall toward the end of this fight. It's just taking too much block damage on this encounter, and also the Black Bolt fight as well. So we're going for another heavy attack. At this point, he's got 4 bad karma. We dodge the second half of that. We're going for a combo straight into a special 2 there. He's on 29% now, and we've 8% of our health points remaining. So at this point, I was like, oh, I'm not feeling super great about finishing this encounter off, but I think we can do it if we get the right lineup. So I go in for another heavy attack. We get some bad karma. I should have just gone full dodge on these special ones, man, because they're getting me chipped down at this point. We go for another heavy attack to counter his heavy, straight into a special 2 there. Because we have suicides on, we go to 1%, and this did not feel good at all. I tried to get the full evade so I could go in, combo special 1, and that would have been the fight over. But I failed, man. I failed at that. I probably would have died from like the poison damage and the duration of that as well. And then we just slap in a 20% revive and finish this man off. But it didn't feel good that I got so close to doing it like in under 20 minutes, and it was just silly mistakes that made this run a little bit longer than it should have been. But hey lads, I'm only human, so hopefully you did enjoy today's Longshot gameplay Realm of Legends speedrun, and if you did, if you could do me a massive favor and smash that like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Aside from that, thank you very much for watching, take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.